Hi everyone, welcome to day 6 of my 7-day Dissolving Disempowerment challenge that I'm doing it for myself and sharing it with you guys so you can do it with me as well and reap the benefits of this video. If you have not watched day 1 to day 5 videos, I have the links for them in the description box below, and I strongly recommend you to watch them because you would need to follow that video in the chronological order to maximize the benefits of watching day 6's video. Okay, so in day 5 we went through the action of changing the personal patterns and stories that has kept us in the state of disempowerment, and it was the most heavy-hitting video out of the whole series thus far. It was about taking an action that was a change to the usual, that signified us taking our power back, and in doing so reclaiming the personal power and also the personal responsibility that comes with it. Okay, so in day 6 we are going to center and anchor ourselves to that personal commitment that we have made. What do I mean? When we usually go about our day, a lot of times we operate from an autopilot mode. Our brain knows the neural pathways through which we would typically interact, and so we don't often consciously respond. And I understand the intelligence of this, because if you were to remember everything, keep in your head, and not have things become a muscle memory, then we would have a lot of cognitive overload, which is not something we want. However, when it comes to changing the patterns that has run our life, we have to be conscious. So anytime we interact with an event, a person, or anything that brings about those states of disempowerment, as we go about our day, there's a high chance that if you don't do it consciously, you're going to default to your original patterns, because that's just the way typically things work, unless you remember it and your brain remembers it on the surface of your memory and on the surface of your consciousness rather. So in order to do that, I have a process that I have personally worked on myself, and this is something that I came up this is something that I tried on myself, and it worked, and it's entirely mine, and I'm sharing it with you guys, which is to write down the very commitment of changing your pattern that you're making to yourself over and over and over. You can either write it or you record it in a recorder and then listen to it over and over. The point is that not only do you make this promise during the exercise itself, but it also is something that is anchored into your system. Especially if you're someone who is very sentient like I am, I really like to write it, and each time I write the commitment that I'm making to myself and I go over it in my hands, I am each time feeling into that promise, that commitment I'm making to myself to change that pattern, the different action that I will take, the different mindset that I will be in, the place and the intentionality that I'm coming from. So in order to really hone it, I write it over and over and over, and I also alternatively sometimes record it and then listen to it as a form of affirmation. But for me it really benefits, and it's also enjoyable for me to write it over. So to demonstrate my point, I am going to show you the exercise that I've done, so it's in the next clip. Hi everyone, so here I am writing the promise that I'm making to myself in order to change the pattern, which is I stand my grounds strong and commit to my inner truth to never abandon myself and bring about the change that I really want. Now, the camera work is a little bit shaky here, and I'm sorry for that because I was writing it and filming it at the same time. But I really wanted to show you the process of me writing it down, and I write it over and over so as to really hone it in. Okay. Okay, so as you have seen that I have written the promise that I'm making to myself, and I write it over and over, and next time I'm interacting with an event or something that brings about that states of disempowerment, it's on the surface of my mind. I remember it very clearly because I went over it for so many times, that this is the reason why I'm gonna create a different kind of action. This is the reason why I'm making a change, and I make that change with intention. To also give you another tip, whenever we are, in a repeat pattern, and this time around we're making a different action, we are responding rather than reacting. One of the really good things is to have the practice of presence, so as to create a gap between your response and the event itself. What do I mean by that? Let's say you're interacting with someone that triggered your disempowerment, and you would typically fall back into the default state, and all your bells went off, and you are feeling high levels of emotion, that state of, oh no, I don't have personal power. In that moment, take a deep breath. Understand that you are observing the reality that you're in, as much as interacting with it, so as to separate yourself for a moment between yourself and the event, and then remember the commitment you have made to yourself. That's why I say go through it over and over, so that it's on the surface of your consciousness, on the surface of your memory. It's within your muscles as well if you're writing it. And then this time around, consciously make a different choice. So in order to really be good at that practice of presence, to create that necessary gap between your reaction and responding consciously, the teachers that I follow is who is really good at this is Eckhart Tolle. So yeah, good luck with today's challenge. All the best. I hope you can make it a little bit fun for yourself. Maybe put on some music or something, or create a good ambiance as you do this exercise of centering into self-commitment. All the best. I'll see you again. Bye.